Now in improvisation, just a little bit of background on teaching improv to people. Through my experience, you start seeing the same things over and over again. Those of you who are teachers in school, I'm sure it's the same thing. Kids have the same behaviors, the same responses, the same habits. And we notice that as improv directors and teachers as well. Everybody has a tendency to want to hold back and say no. So in improv, one of the first things we endeavor to do is to get the person to loosen up to say yes. So a lot of the first, if you took improv 1, you'd be doing a lot of relaxation, a lot of spontaneous thinking. These are just relax, it's going to be all right. We're all here, it's supportive, we all love you, just relax. Now do something. And we want you to say yes. We actually have to go back before, we don't teach yes right away. We teach a no. We teach don't block, because that's what we have termed that impetus to want to put this up. We call that blocking. So our first order of business is to get to a quick yes by kind of working through the language you understand the best. No blocking. No, do not block. Want you to say yes to it. When we break that habit, then we're on the way with an improviser. An improviser is able to build a scene, because you can only build something by saying yes, by putting something forward and putting something on. If somebody else puts something forward or puts something on or into the scene, the only way the scene can move forward is if somebody matches that, accepts that. And then once accepted, now we have to do it again. We have to have another thing. I can make the next offer as well, or it'd be better if I made the first one, if you make the next one, and then I'll yes that. We call that yes and. So I say yes to what you offered, and now I offer something. And look, now we're building something. We've broken that barrier of blocking and got you to go forward in the scene. Well, great, fine and dandy improv learning, awesome. I'm a perfect improviser. Look at me improvise. I'm on the stage, and gosh, we're like, there's just something. I just don't feel fulfilled in my improv. It's like my scenes stagnate. I just don't feel like there's forward movement either in my scenes or in my progression as an improviser. So I'm hearing this over the course of years, and I have a mixed kind of left brain, right brain kind of mind, where I'm analytical as well as I hope very creative. I can do things and be spontaneous, but I think about it a lot. I analyze it a lot. So of course I'm looking at all this. What's going on? What are we doing? What's the deal with all of that? And this model of science started to form in my head about the improviser. The improviser wants to move forward. The improviser wants progression in their scene. And they poor things, start from nothing and have to build something out of nothing. We have to get action out of inaction. We have to build to a kinetic universe, a kinetic environment out of an environment without kineticism, without action, but with something, with potential. So it's like, gosh, now I'm talking my science class. Potential energy converted to kinetic energy. Potential to kinetic. Two actors on the stage with nothing but potential. They have a lot of potential. A lot of things can and will happen on that stage. So they're not empty-handed. They're not without anything. What's that potential? Well, it's everything they've learned from me, from everyone else. It's everything they've seen in improv. They remember all that. It's everything they've experienced in their life. It's everything that their creative mind is able to do. That's a lot of potential. They just don't realize it. And many people don't have confidence in that potential. So how can I help an improviser convert that potential energy to a more kinetic energy? What are the things that are keeping them from doing that? What's stopping you? Why not just do that? You're an improviser. You know all the things. You've got all that potential. The lights go up and we say go. In our improvised scenes, we actually add one more thing to the potential. We get a suggestion from the audience, so they know that it's completely made up. But that's another thing. That's one more thing, and then go build a scene on that. And after a while, it's like, oh, I'm still not finding the flow that I want to do. So there seems to be a problem once we are able to get the potential going to keep the momentum going and to keep the build going. So, okay, so improv absolutely has to be an actional performance, an actional exercise. Why? Because there's nothing there. There's no lights like you get in the theater. We have some lights that we do, but no theatrical lights. There's no sound, there's no costumes, there's no script, there's no music generally that anybody knows about when it starts. There's nothing to help forward it if the actors don't make it actional. The same kind of thing happens in movies. Movies are a very visual medium, whereas a dramatic theater piece can be more of a verbal medium, because the way people talk together in their relationships, that's what we want in the meat of theater. But you can't. How many times can you watch My Dinner with Andre? Not too many. It's like, yeah, very deep, but no, this is not what I want in the movie experience. I want visual images. Visual/moving, they're moving pictures. These pictures are kinetic. They are, the kinetoscope is how they were actually built and started, a machine that showed us action, things going on, and we can put it all together. Now we can see things moving. That engages us more. So how do we get the improv actor to be more moving, more engaging, more kinetic? Turns out there's a lot of traps that an improviser falls into. I'm just going to give you a couple of them as examples. And those are the kinds of things that, okay, we're going to break through these. So and this is how kind of all this business started with what I call quantum improv. I'm going to teach you some ways to get over these hurdles, around these barriers, and get moving scenes, get from potential to kinetic. Using, what is the transaction scene? And so you'll notice these if you go and see oh, I forgot to ask. Could you all turn off your cell phones? That's good. Just like we rehearsed, Diane. Thanks. Yeah, good. That's good timing for that. I hope I turned mine off. Won't that be amazing? So a transaction scene is somebody says, yeah, I'd like to buy that lawnmower. Okay, it's going to be $5. Oh, I don't have $5. Will you take a check? No, you're going to need cash or a credit card. Oh, my credit card's at home. Listen, can I owe you? No, it's going to cost money. And so here we are, we're stuck. We're not moving forward because we're just kind of caught up in this transaction scene. Now, that was a money transaction, but there are all kinds of transactions in life, and we get caught up in these because, what's the stopper on this, would you say? It's kind of narratively, what's not happening? There's still no's, a purchase isn't happening, you're blocking, somebody's not, somebody's not, there's a what feeling that, somebody's not giving up, and that's an okay word to use, but then it sounds like you're not winning. If I give up, I'm not winning. So my word is yield. Just you yield this time. Would you yield this time? Or would I yield this time? I'm asking myself, could I yield this time so we could get out of this? Could I just help us get over that hurdle and we'll go with the next one? The next time I know you'll yield, because you know what, we're going to be in another transaction in just a few minutes. So the practice of being able to just get it done with and move on, get over that hurdle. Another one that is tough and common in improv scenes are what I call like the master-slave or teacher-student scenes. What happens in these scenes, and the reason they get stalled, is because one person becomes the expert, the teacher, the master, and begins to direct the other one around. And it's just, go give me that hammer. All right, now hold it there. All right, now is that straight? Okay, now we're going to have to go and fill the gas tank up on the car. All right, get in on the left side there. All right, sit down, put your seatbelt on, just nudge yourself a little bit to the right. It's like, come on. It's getting too detailed, and the other person isn't doing anything. They're only following what I have to do. So the scene is kind of moving forward, and it might even seem so for me, but what if I'm this guy nudging just a little bit to the right? How do I feel? It's like, I'm not really involved in this. I'm not engaged. It's not actional for me. So we tried. That's another one we tried. Stop directing your partner. Just, you can give one thing, and then let them do it. Don't be their teacher. Don't drag them around, because then it leaves nothing for them to do. So those are just two examples of the kinds of things we try to work around. So as we're moving forward in the scenes, there's always things that stop the scene. So thinking more and more about this, and then I get reminded of my science class again, and Newton's law of motion. I think I have to study it in several ways, but the Newton's law of motion basically states, and I'm really oversimplifying a lot of this stuff, if any of you are science people, I apologize in advance. that an object in motion tends to stay in motion until an outside force is exerted on it, right? And then conversely, and this is either the other part of that or an extrapolation of that, so you got to get something started. So an object at rest is going to stay at rest until an outside force is exerted on it. That's what we're talking about with two guys on the stage. The lights come up, you got your suggestion, you got everything. The scene, it's at rest. Somebody has to do something. Somebody has to exert a force of some sort or another, given energy, in order to at least get that ball rolling. So.